Imagine an island in Mexico where hundreds of old dolls dangle from the branches. Some are missing their heads, others have no eyes, and many visitors claim that sometimes the dolls move. Some even say that they blink. But that's not all. Some tourists say that when they tried to take photos, their phones simply shut off. Others swear that when they later looked back at a tree, the doll was no longer in the same place. This isn't a movie set. This is a real place in Mexico, and its story is far darker than you might imagine. The Island of the Dolls is located in the Xochimilco Canal system, not far from downtown Mexico City. This area is famous for its ancient canals built by the Aztecs. The island can still only be reached by boat. As tourists approach, they first see only trees along the shore. Then, slowly, something appears among the branches, a doll, then another, then more and more. And soon they realize that almost every tree is covered with dolls. Hundreds of old, worn-out dolls hang between the branches. The story began with a man. Don Julian Santana Barrera was the former caretaker of the island. He moved there in the 1950s and lived alone on the small island for many years. Legend has it that one day he found something strange in the canal, the body of a young girl. According to the stories, the child had drowned. Not long after, Don Julian found an old doll floating in the water. He thought it might have belonged to the girl, so he hung it on a tree to calm the child's spirit. But that was only the beginning of something very unusual. Don Julian began collecting old dolls. He often retrieved them from the canals. Other times he brought them from dumps or nearby villages. Most of the dolls were broken. Some were missing arms, eyes, or even their heads. But he hung every single one on the trees. Over the years, more and more dolls filled the island. The branches slowly became crowded with them. Eventually, hundreds of dolls hung everywhere. The sight grew increasingly strange and unsettling. As tourists began visiting, strange stories quickly spread. Some said the dolls moved on the trees. Others claimed the eyes seemed to follow people. Some even reported hearing whispers among the trees, as if someone were quietly speaking deep within the island. Of course, there could be simple explanations. The wind moves the branches. Old dolls often have movable eyes, and the canals echo sounds in strange ways. But when someone stands alone in such a place, the imagination can easily take over. There's another strange phenomenon reported by several visitors. Some tourists said that while on the island, their electronics malfunctioned. Phones suddenly turned off. Cameras stopped working properly, and some recordings captured unusual sounds. Some paranormal researchers suggest these are EVP phenomena, when voices or sounds appear on electronic recordings. Others say it's just coincidence or technical issues, but it's true that many visitors reported similar experiences. There's yet another legend told by many tourists. Some say that when they looked back at a tree later, the doll was no longer in the same place. Reports describe a doll first hanging on a branch, then found on the ground later, and sometimes back on the tree again. Of course, tourists might have moved them, but legend says the dolls sometimes move on their own. Don Julian often said that the girl's spirit still lingered on the island. He reportedly sometimes heard crying coming from the canal. Other times, he felt as if someone was watching him from the trees. So he continued collecting dolls. He believed that these dolls could calm the spirit. The strangest part of the story happened in 2001. Don Julian was found dead in the canal. And what is truly eerie, He was found in the very same spot where he had reportedly discovered the girl's body. Many dismiss this as a strange coincidence. Others see it as a dark conclusion to the legend. Today, the Island of the Dolls is a popular tourist attraction. People arrive by boat to see the famous dolls for themselves. Many still bring new dolls and hang them on the trees. The island is constantly changing, and the number of dolls keeps growing. But the biggest question remains the same. Do strange things really happen on this island? Or is it just a legend made even more frightening by the human imagination? We may never know the truth, but one thing is certain. If you ever approach this island by boat and see hundreds of dolls hanging in the trees, it's easy to believe that this is one of the eeriest places in the world.